What happens when Hollywood's it couple becomes its biggest nightmare? We all saw the red carpet photos, we all heard the whispers, and we all watched Teyana Taylor systematically delete every trace of Pierre from her existence. But what if the leaked drama was only the beginning, only the surface of something far more calculated, far more intense, and far more explosive than anyone is willing to admit? Because behind the glossy headlines and carefully controlled PR statements there is allegedly a darker narrative unfolding, one that the mainstream media avoids touching, and it begins with a relationship that looked perfect on the outside but may have been built on secrets, strategy, and deception. And as the story goes, Teyana Taylor, known for her loyalty, strength, and no-nonsense personality, allegedly discovered something that completely shifted her perception of everything she believed about Pierre. And this discovery did not happen in public. It did not happen on a red carpet or in front of cameras, but in the quiet, private glow of a phone screen or sync device, where a hidden digital trail allegedly revealed inconsistencies that could no longer be ignored. At first it was small things, moments of silence when he was in the UK, sudden gaps in communication, explanations that didn't fully align, and patterns that began to repeat themselves every time he returned to London. And for someone who had already experienced betrayal in the past, these were not just minor red flags, they were warning signals that something deeper might be happening beneath the surface. And as suspicion grew, the situation allegedly escalated when a secondary private online presence came to light, a hidden account or digital space that suggested a parallel version of life that was never shared with her. And that discovery reportedly led to a much larger breakthrough when a shared device, possibly an iPad or work laptop used during creative collaboration, automatically synced to a cloud storage account that had not been properly logged out. And within that cloud environment, according to the narrative, there was a folder that was not obvious at first glance but also not fully hidden, and once accessed, it allegedly opened a digital archive containing messages, travel records, private communications, and correspondence spanning years, including connections to a long-term relationship in London that existed parallel to his public image. And what made the situation even more intense was not just the existence of another relationship but the alleged presence of emails between Pierre and members of his management team discussing image strategy, branding direction, and public perception, suggesting that relationships and public appearances may have been part of a structured plan designed to enhance his appeal in the American market before major career milestones. And in this alleged strategy, Teyana Taylor was not simply a partner but a carefully positioned figure whose reputation, influence, and ride-or-die image could elevate his own public identity, which created a devastating emotional implication if true, because it would mean the relationship she believed was genuine may have also been shaped by professional calculation. And as the story continues, further alleged discoveries pointed toward a consistent connection maintained in London, with emotional exchanges continuing even during high-profile public appearances, award shows, and press events, creating a dual existence where public romance and private loyalty allegedly existed in conflict. And over time this contradiction reportedly became too large to contain, leading to emotional pressure that eventually forced a breaking point. And for Teyana, the impact of this realization allegedly went beyond heartbreak, because it challenged her sense of identity, authenticity, and trust, especially after years of rebuilding her life and protecting her peace following past experiences. And according to the narrative, she did not react immediately but instead entered a period of silence, collecting evidence, organizing screenshots, messages, and digital proof while carefully preparing for a confrontation that would not be based on emotion alone but on documentation and clarity. Because in Hollywood, perception is everything and truth without proof often gets dismissed. So she allegedly built her case quietly over 48 hours while continuing her professional and personal responsibilities as if nothing had changed externally, but internally everything had shifted. And during this time legal advisors were reportedly consulted, questions were raised about NDAs, public statements, and potential fallout, signaling that the situation was no longer just personal but potentially legal and professional. And when the confrontation finally happened, it allegedly took place in a private luxury hotel suite far removed from cameras or public attention, where Pierre reportedly entered expecting a normal conversation but instead walked into a controlled and emotionally charged setup where evidence was presented without chaos or shouting, just a laptop, a screen, and undeniable digital material laid out in front of him. And according to sources, There was a long silence as he processed what he was seeing, followed by attempted explanations that suggested misunderstanding or context issues. But timestamps and message trails allegedly contradicted those claims, weakening his position as the conversation progressed. And what followed was not just a breakup discussion but a complete power shift, because Teyana allegedly made it clear that her issue was not only betrayal but perceived manipulation, the idea that she may have been placed into a role within a constructed public narrative without her full awareness, and that realization allegedly transformed the dynamic from emotional heartbreak into something far more serious, involving reputation, control, and industry exposure. And as tensions escalated, management teams were reportedly brought into the discussion remotely, attempting to de-escalate the situation through settlement offers, statements, and controlled narratives. But those attempts allegedly backfired when financial compensation was introduced, because instead of calming the situation, it reinforced the idea that the truth could be negotiated, which reportedly pushed Teyana to take a harder stance, making it clear that she was not interested in money or image management but in truth and accountability. And at that point, an alleged ultimatum was delivered that changed everything, warning that if the situation was spun against her or misrepresented, a full documentary-style expose would be released detailing everything from personal communications to broader industry practices, including alleged structural systems involving public image management in celebrity relationships. And this implication reportedly caused immediate panic within the room because it extended far beyond a personal breakup and into the territory of industry-wide exposure, something that could potentially impact multiple careers and agencies if made public. And following this confrontation, the situation reportedly ended not with reconciliation but with silence, as Teyana walked away and began removing all public traces of the relationship, deleting photos, erasing digital footprints, and reclaiming control over her own narrative, while Pierre and his team were left navigating uncertainty, aware that any public misstep could trigger further fallout, creating what insiders describe as a Cold War dynamic where neither side fully speaks but both remain aware of the consequences held in reserve. And in the aftermath, cryptic posts, indirect messages, and subtle references allegedly continued to fuel speculation while maintaining tension beneath the surface, with Aaron's public image becoming more controlled, cautious, and restricted, as if operating under constant awareness of potential exposure, while Teyana appeared to move forward with strength, focusing on her life and career while maintaining silence over the alleged evidence she still holds. And that silence itself became the most powerful element of the entire situation, because the threat of exposure can sometimes carry more weight than exposure itself, leaving both sides locked in a delicate balance where one release could change everything. And as the narrative stands, the alleged documentary remains unreleased, but its existence alone continues to shape perception, behavior, and industry caution, raising the question of whether this was ever just a relationship that ended badly or something far more calculated that eventually collapsed under its own contradictions. And in the end, the story becomes less about romance and more about power, image, control, and the dangerous intersection between private truth and public identity in Hollywood.